Happy Halloween to all my Essential units. It's the Essential Man here, so back again with another Halloween Havoc pay-per-view review. So this time going to review WCW's Halloween Havoc 1997 at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada on the 26th of October 1997. The attendance for the show was 12,457. This show received about 405,000 pay-per-view buys. This is the highly bought Halloween Havoc pay-per-view in WCW history. 96 and 97's WCW was their golden years. You know, they're beating the World Wrestling Federation's Monday Night Raw in the ratings war. WCW was in an all-time high at this year. I'm talking about 1997. WWF, it's not quite there yet, because 97 for the World Wrestling Federation was a good year for that company. The Hart Foundation, the rise of D-Generation X, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker is the world champion. But with WCW, it's on a different level. ECW, that's another story for another time. ECW, it's starting to get some buzz, but I think the main two at the time, it's WWF and WCW. ECW was established as the third wrestling company, third place wrestling company alongside WWF and WCW. Anyway, so this show took place 3 weeks after the Bad Blood pay-per-view. We'll get to the main event later on in this review. The commentators for the show are Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes on commentary. So the first match to kick off the show, we got the Ultimo Dragon taking on Yuji Nagata with Sonny Ono in Nagata's corner. I think the build, I don't think there's any build to this. I'll get to those 1997's Nitros in the future. But anyway, so Sonny Ono originally was Ultimo Dragon's manager. I'm guessing he turned on the Ultimo Dragon to be Yuji Nagata's manager, I think. Sonny Ono, I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet. I don't know. Maybe in Japan, but not in the WWE's Hall of Fame. I don't know. Anyway, the match was good between Yuji Nagata and the Ultimo Dragons, back and forth. I feel like some bulks of the match, Nagata worked on the arm of Ultimo Dragon. Dragon locked in the Dragon Sleeper. That's his, I think it's his submission hold. That's why he's called the Ultimo Dragon for the reason. In the end, he was trying to lock in that same submission hold. Nagata counted into an armbar for the win. He made Ultimo Dragon tap out. And afterwards, Sonny Ono kicked the injured arm of Ultimo Dragon, and that was it. So the next match, we got Chris Jericho taking on Guido. I've done my research that Guido and Jericho feud in Japan. They were part of a stable called the. I'm gonna find it right now. Chris Jericho. 1 second, folks. Trying to find it. In Japan. Oh, I think it's there. The Fuyaki Army. And I think they were a tag team called No Respect. So it's basically former tag team, former enemies going at it on this show. The match was good. There was one notable botch. Jericho was going for a Hurricane Rana, but instead he hit the Hurricane Rana, but he kind of landed on his head in the process. That was just so ugly. But it didn't really fit this match. It was a decent match, what it is. In the end, Jericho made Guido to tap out with the Lion Tamer for the win. By the way, one side note, Jericho was the Cruiserweight champion, but unfortunately dropped the belt at the previous month's pay-per-view, that's Fall Brawl. I'll get to the next match a bit shortly. But Jericho was the babyface Chris Jericho. Come on, baby. He became the heel Chris Jericho in 1998, feuding with Rey Mysterio and Dean Malenko. Did the 1004 holds. Mocking, Dean Malenko's dad. His death of Dean Malenko's dad, Boris Malenko. Anyway, so he's not quite there yet, but he turned heel a few months later. So the next match, this is for the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, and this is a title versus mass match. It's for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship and also Rey Mysterio's mask. We got Eddie Guerrero defended the Cruiserweight title against Rey Mysterio. Like I said, Jericho was the Cruiserweight champion because he lost the belt to Eddie Guerrero at Fall Brawl. I'm guessing Rey was, the next challenger for Eddie Guerrero. They fought on Nitro. Not Rey versus Eddie, because Eddie just looked like this weird random luchador. I think he cost Rey Mysterio a TV title match against Dean Malenko. The build up to their match at Halloween Havoc. I think this was like forward. I think people say this is the greatest cruiserweight match in WCW's history. You gotta believe them. This was a great match. This is match of the night, in my opinion. Back and forth between Rey and Eddie. Eddie and Rey had some good chemistry in their not just in their feud in WCW, but in WWE years later. It was back and forth between Rey and Eddie Guerrero. Rey came out wearing the Phantom's attire. I look up the Phantom. The Phantom is kind of a superhero from, I think it's from the DC comics. I think this was years before this is years before Superman and Batman was invented, because they kind of came out in the late 30s. I think the Phantom came out maybe in the early parts of the 1930s. I think. Anyway, so I like Rey Mysterio coming out with comic book attire, costumes. Comic themed attires. I'm trying to say, but it's really like dressing like Captain America, the Flash. I kind of like that. I think last year he dressed up like Batman. Anyway, so it was a really good match. In the end, Rey, I think Eddie was going for the Gory Bomb, and I think Gory is, I think it's Eddie's uncle. I might be wrong about this. Gory, because Javo hits the Gory Bomb. Gory Bomb. It's one of Eddie's relatives. I'm trying to say. Because Gory was, Eddie was trained by Gory Guerrero. I think Gory Guerrero was Eddie. It might be Eddie's. I'll look it up right now. Yeah, he's the father of. I think he's the father of Gory. Of Eddie Guerrero. I might be wrong about this, about Eddie, the Guerrero family tree, but I'm trying to get back to this match. So anyway, Eddie was going for the Gory Bomb. He's trying to Gory Bomb Rey off the top rope, but Rey counted into a Hurricanrana for the win and become the new Cruiserweight champion. I heard the original plan. He was supposed to have Rey loosen the really not just lose the title match, and also he has to be unmasked. I think that was the original plan. I think unmasking Rey Mysterio was a bad idea, because Rey ended up losing to, I think it was Kevin Nash in 1999, forced to unmask, and you can see pictures of Rey without the mask. He looks like a toddler. I think the best for Rey's character is putting the mask back on when he was in WWE. Yeah, he had some character development, part of the Filthy Animals and the rest of WCW's existence, becoming the final Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions with, I think it was Billy Kidman, I think. And then he went on to wrestling in Mexico and then WWE and beyond. So, and also they kind of trade the title back and forth between Rey and Eddie, because Rey hold the belt. I think this is his second reign, because he was Cruiserweight champion before, in '96. But he ended up dropping he ended up dropping it a month later back to Eddie on Nitro, and then Ultimate Dragon won the belt from Eddie in December. Rey ended up winning the Cruiserweight title on an episode of Thunder in January before dropping it to Jericho at Sold Out in '98. So the Cruiserweight title kind of hopped the tail, not like in WCW 2000S, but I hate that, man. It's just like, I don't want to get into it, but anyways, it's a good match, match of the night. So moving on to the next match. Afterwards, the show kind of fell off the cliff. The next match, we got Steve Mongo McMichael taking on Alex Wright, with Deborah in Alex Wright's corner. The original match was supposed to be Mongo versus Jeff Jarrett. Unfortunately, Jeff Jarrett left the company, back to the WWF. He came back in 1999 after dropping the title to China at No Mercy. I'm talking about the IC title in the housekeeping match at No Mercy '99. He came back. He came to WCW, the first Nitro after he wrestled his final match in the WWF. Anyway, so and because Jarrett at this moment in time did basically really talk trash towards Steve Austin because he used the because Austin did that Austin 316 promo in '96 at King of the Ring. Anyway, so yeah, they kind of shoehorned this storyline because throughout '97, Mongo and Jeff Jarrett kind of like in this love triangle storyline between Mongo, Jarrett, and Deborah, and then Jarrett like left the company. So basically, they kind of shoehorned this. It's basically they kind of salvaged this storyline, but it was too little, too late. Anyway, the match sucked. Mongo is just shit. I see some of Mongo's matches on YouTube, but he's never that good in the ring. He's okay as he's better off being a manager, but in the ring, he's just not that good. Alex Wright, who was not really doing anything. Yeah, he became Berlin in 2000, but I think they missed the boat on the Berlin character. That's just me. Anyway, the match sucked. In the end, Goldberg came out, basically distract the referee. I think there was a referee bump, and then Goldberg hit the spear onto Mongo, pinned, helped Alex Wright beat Mongo for the victory. And afterwards, you had Goldberg holding Mongo's Super Bowl ring. And that's just set up Mongo-Goldberg match at that year's Starrcade. I think this was Goldberg's first pay-per-view match because he debuted in late September, kicked off his undefeated streak. He became the world champion the following year in 1998. For me, personally, they should have done Mongo versus Goldberg. Yeah, they fought at Starrcade, but I think they could, Alex Wright as Deborah's mysterious opponent. Don't get it. Goldberg, because you're building Goldberg up to be the next top star. Wright was kind of I don't really call him a jobber because he's a cruiserweight champion, in the past, but he's just kind of not doing anything, Let's move on, but the next match we got Jacqueline. By the way, and this is Deborah's final WCW pay-per-view appearance because he left the company in November. I think she took a break from pro wrestling. He basically returned to the WWF in '98. Reunite with Jeff Jarrett, as a kayfabe couple, and then add Owen Hart to form a tag team. And that's another story for another time. Anyway, the next match we got Jacqueline taking on Disco Inferno. I heard in reports that in shoot interviews years later, Disco Inferno didn't want to do the job to Jacqueline. I think he got fired, came back. He defeated Dean Malenko. I think it was on Nitro. It's not Nitro. I think he defeated Dean Malenko to become the new TV champion. He entered this match holding the TV title belt. I'm glad the TV title belt was really not on the line. I think the TV title belt was kind of defunct at this, not defunct, but kind of a last cause at this moment of time. It was kind of a low card title belt because the two major title belts in WCW has to be number 3, or actually 3 is the world title, the cruiserweight title, and the United States title. It's kind of it's kind of the fourth wheel, I'm trying to say, but anyway, Jacqueline and Disco Inferno, the match sucks. It's basically Disco being the cowardly heel, trying to say. He's being this cowardly fool, leaving the ring, don't want to, lose to Jacqueline trying to pin him. I was completely bored of this, so in the end, Jacqueline rolled up Disco Inferno for the win. And this was, I'm guessing this was Jacqueline's final WCW pay-per-view appearance, because she ended up going to the WWF in '98, be part of the Mark Merrow's Sable feud, become a 2-time women's champion, become a cruiserweight champion. I think she came back, she came back in, she won the cruiserweight title. That was in the Ruthless Aggression era. But, I don't think she won a major title in WCW. She was kind of there, she was part of the Dungeon of Doom, but, in WWF, she was a 2-time women's champion, a cruiserweight champion, Hall of Fame, a Hall of Famer in 2016, and part of the Pretty Mean Sisters in the World Wrestling Federation. This was in the Attitude Era, but she was not really quite doing anything. I don't think it hurt Disco in the long run because he stuck around until the end of WCW's run. It's it's debatable. You can say Sami Callihan dropping the Impact Wrestling World title to Tessa Blanchard at Hard to Kill 2020. I think the one male wrestler hurts his career losing to a woman. Jet Jarrett's fine. Losing to China at No Mercy. I think it has to go with Mark Merrow, losing to his wife Sable. That's in '98. That really hurt him in the long run. So, anyway, so the next match, this is for the United States title. Kurt Hennig taking on Ric Flair. Hennig was part of the Four Horsemen, fill in for Double A Arn Anderson. And then at Fall Brawl, he turned on the Horsemen in the War Games match against the NWO, slammed Ric Flair's head in the steel cage, and then this is a grudge match. I see a picture of Hennig, part of the NWO. Stupid. I think Hennig joining the NWO it doesn't do any favors. It's just basically if you turn heel, you have to be part of the NWO. Yeah, the Flock is one thing. The Flock did show up on this show, attending the show, but not interfering or be part of competing in matches. I'm trying to say, but with Kurt Hennig, joining the NWO, I think he'd be part of the Wolfpack in '98, I think, but I don't know. It's just kind of like just random. Anyway, the match was okay. Too boring a bit. You both Flair and Hennig kind of worked on the leg each other. Sadly, didn't lock in a submission hold. The match, it got physical, like, Hennig trying to hit Flair in the head with the chair, flick out of the way. Flair kind of slingshot Kurt Hennig into the ring post. He kind of, this is the ending, so I think Hennig kind of body slammed Ric Flair onto I think one of them kind of, did a body slam and onto the United States title belt. And by the way, there was not the United States title belt. It looks like the Cruiserweight title belt, I think. I don't know, but in the end, Flair kind of put Kurt Hennig, formerly known as Mr. Perfect in the WWF, put Hennig in a trio blow, and Flair kind of stumped Hennig's face. He placed the United States title on his face and he stumped it. And he's selling his facial expressions that caused a DQ, and then Flair trying I think he's chest chopped one of the referees. I think it was Pee Wee Anderson or something. I heard rumors they were planning to do a rematch at Starrcade. Unfortunately, Flair got injured his leg. It's funny that Flair, in the last 2 years, between '96 and '97, Ric Flair was in the United States title picture. He was supposed to face the Giant at the 1996 Starrcade show. Unfortunately, he suffered a shoulder injury, faked the United States title, and then in '97, he was supposed to face Hennig again, figured it's for the United States title. Unfortunately, Flair backed out due to a leg injury. Flair will fight Bischoff at the following year's Starrcade in 1998. So, yeah, and, Kurt Hennig ended up dropping the United States title to, I think it was DDP at Starrcade in '97, so it's just what it is. It's a damn shame they never got their rematch, and, and I don't think Flair got his win back over Hennig. Don't get it, so let's move on. So the next match, we got Scott Hall with Six, represent the NWO. Six is in Scott Hall's corner. Yeah, represent the NWO, taking on Lex Luger with Larry Zbyszko as a special guest referee. I almost say corner, but fucking hell. But anyway, so this was in the middle of the feud between Larry Zbyszko and the NWO and Scott Hall. Basically, it's a feud between Larry Zbyszko and Scott Hall. I covered their match at Sold Out 98 on this channel months ago, and check it out. Zbyszko's basically causing Scott Hall matches. To cause his match with, it was a tag team match at Fall Brawl the previous month. He caused the Outsiders the tag team titles against the Steiners on Nitro. So that's just the good build. It wasn't a build, but it was okay. It's just basically Zbyszko screwing Scott Hall. Anyway, the match was sucked. It was boring. It was just two big guys, punch. Two guys better off facing wrestlers who were more athletic, but facing two guys who can do big power moves, it gets really boring. This is more focused on Zbyszko and Scott Hall, starting Scott Hall, trying not to cheat, it's Six trying to cheat shot him, and Zbyszko stopped him. And then I think Scott Hall refused to doing the call elbow tie up near the corner, and kind of wrestled Hall away from the hold. Hall from the hold. But Sabisco kind of thrown Hall off the top rope, and then some scenario. It was getting a little bit overbooked. Bischoff came. Basically I think like Luger was going for the torture rack. Six cheap shot. Luger. Hall hit the outside edge for the win. And it's just what it is. And Sabisco saw the footage that Six interfered. He reversed this match, and then not reverse this match, restart the match. Then Luger locked in the torture rack onto Scott Hall for the win, and afterwards you got you had Sabisco lock Six in the guillotine. Bischoff cheat shot Sabisco. They did big Hall Six. Bischoff beat down Sabisco. And that was it. It's just been like furthering up the rivalry between Larry Sabisco and the NWO and Scott Hall. This is set up Sabisco and Bischoff at that year's Starrcade. That was it. So the next match, we got the Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth in the Macho Man's corner, taking on DDP in a Las Vegas sudden death match. It's basically a last man standing match. So throughout 1997, Randy Savage and DDP, they were feuding throughout the bulk of 1997. This is basically feud of the year in WCW, because this was the rise of DDP. I'm talking about the year of 1997 because he turned babyface. He refused to join the NWO. He was putting on the t-shirt, give Scott Hall the diamond cutter. Then he feuded with the Macho Man Randy Savage. They fought throughout 1997 in a no DQ match, a 4th count anyway match, I think some tag team matches and some pay-per-views and nitros. It's the biggest feud of WCW at that time. The second place is Hogan and Sting. That's another story for another time. But it's the feud of the year for WCW in 1997. Maybe in pro wrestling, that's another story another time. But anyway. So this was a good match. I've never seen most of the matches in WCW. This is before my time, but like the previous matches in their feud, I might review down the road, but I don't know. But this was a good match between Randy Savage and DDP. It's been better Las Vegas matches I saw. It's not the best, but at the same time, wasn't the worst. The fight in the crowd, the fought in the Halloween Havoc sets, with the tombstones. You had Miss Elizabeth hitting the referee in the head with I think it was a glass plate, and choke DDP with a wire. And then you got Kimberly. And by the way, I think they end up like both DDP and Randy Savage end up like hitting each other's wives, because at the time Randy Savage is married to Miss Elizabeth. DDP at the time married to Kimberly. I think this is before my time. The feud between Randy Savage and DDP. But anyway, so Kimberly and Elizabeth cat fighting. I understand they're trying to help Elizabeth trying to help Savage getting the win over DDP. I almost say DDP. Anyway, so there was some referee bumps. It was a bit overbooked in my opinion. You had like a referee bump. You had DDP hit the diamond cutter onto Randy Savage, and then you got Hulk Hogan dressing up like Sting, hit DDP in the I think it's in the ribs, because he was wearing bandage throughout this match. I'm guessing like during that feud you had Savage re-injured the midsection of Diamond Dallas Page. Anyway, so Hogan dressed up like the fake Sting. You know he's gonna face Sting at Starrcade. It's just like they're hinting. They're not trying to. It's an 18-month build. That's another story another time if I review Starrcade '97. So anyway, so Hogan helped Savage getting the victory over the DDP in the Las Vegas Sudden match, and afterwards he had Savage beat down DDP even more, and that was it. So this was the blow off to their rivalry, I think. We'll probably have one more match down the road, and that was it. I don't think they fought ever again. Maybe they fought in like 98, 99, but I don't know. But this was the end of their rivalry. I'd rather have DDP getting the victory over Randy Savage. I get Hogan trying to help his NWO teammate getting the victory, but you're elevating his star. I think this rivalry kind of elevate DDP's star, because in the next couple of years, he ended up becoming a multiple-time WCW World Champion. I think he became a 3 or 4-time World Champion. If you compare this rivalry, Savage and DDP, to Hogan and Kidman from 2000, I think this was way better because, hear me out, yeah, Kidman and Hogan, because, yeah, Kidman beat Hogan in 2000, but it didn't do anything to elevate Billy Kidman's stock because Kidman's a good wrestler. I think the one thing lacking is charisma. For this, DDP has personality and charisma. He ended up becoming a world champion throughout 99, 2000, in the crappy years of the Vince Russo era, dropping the world title to David Arquette, but because Kidman was younger than DDP, but at the same time, I think DDP had, I think people were not buying into, Kidman could be the next top star. I think people back then in '97 could believe, I think the fans believed that DDP could be a main eventer. I think they commented very well, but I think DDP should have gone over Randy Savage to really, to end this feud and move on. So yeah, like I said, it was a good match. Not a all-time classic last man standing match in pro wrestling history, but I think it's a good match. I think it's the second best match of the night on the show. We'll get to my final thoughts of the show later on. So moving on to the main event. The main event. This is a steel cage match, and fans call it Age in the Cage. I'll get to why they call it Age in the Cage. We got Hulk Hogan, the WCW World Champion, taking on Roddy Piper. Holy shit. Because at this moment in time, Roddy Piper is a third authority figure in WCW. The other two is J.J. Dillon, represent the company, and then Eric Bischoff is also running WCW, I think he was the president of WCW at the time in kayfabe. On top of Bischoff's role, he was, I think he was the vice producer in real life in WCW at the time, but in kayfabe he's the president of WCW. I think J.J. Dillon represents the suit and ties, and they appoint Piper as the third authority figure. Why? It beats me. So yeah, and by the way, this show, it's been 1 year since Roddy Piper debuted, because he debuted at the previous year, Halloween Havoc from '96. This was after Hogan defeats Savage for the WCW World title. They fought in late '96 and early parts of '97. They fought at Starrcade in '96, on Saturday of '97. This is, you call it a blow off to their rivalry, because this show and really climaxed the rivalry between DDP and Randy Savage. And this show also climaxing the rivalry between Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper. The match sucked. And by the way, this show and this match took place 3 weeks after Bad Blood in the start of this review. It took place 3 weeks after the first Hell in a Cell match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. I'll get to the comparisons a little bit shortly. The match sucked. I'm trying to keep it short and simple, folks. Boring as fuck. Punch, kick. And you get a lot of fake stings, man. People dress up like Sting. I don't get it. It's, you can tell it's building up to Hogan and Sting at Starrcade. Randy Savage climbed up the top of the cage, took that nasty, he took a dive off the cage, and didn't really hit Piper. I think Hogan was supposed to catch Savage, but instead didn't. And I think Savage, I said to myself, how the hell, I've seen that spot over the years. I said to myself, how the hell Randy Savage never blown his knees? He injured his knee in '98, but that's another story for another time. So the match was getting confusing, and the reason why fans call it Age in the Cage, because Hogan and Piper are in their 40s, and also Piper came out holding the world title belt. I'll get to it a little shortly, so I'm going to keep it short and simple. The match was getting really confusing. They were fighting, almost was the door open, they were fighting. Piper pushed Hogan out of the door cage. That should be the win. That should be the finish. If you escape the cage door, you win this match. Don't get it. Continue fighting. Hogan should say, screw it, I'm out of here. And then all of a sudden you got this guy dressed up like Sting. When Hogan trying to climb out the cage, There's 2 more Stings came out. What the hell's going on? I'm trying to keep it short and simple. In the end, you had and also you got like a fan just like Sting. We'll get to that shortly. So this was a clusterfuck. I'm trying to say clusterfuck as fuck. Piper got the victory over Hogan. Made him. He didn't tap out. He made him knocked out with the sleeper hold for the win. Afterwards, you got the NWO. You got like Bischoff and Savage, basically beating down Piper, locked it, really handcuffed him on the cage, and then you got the fake Sting thing. Came to the cage, and Hogan's Sting beat the fuck out of this Sting. Basically, you got this one fake Sting. Hogan took off the Sting mask off the fake Sting, put it on his face, and then and there was like I said, a Sting fan came to the cage, came inside the ring. Hogan and Savage beat the fuck out of this kid. And how the hell they never got a lawsuit? Because ECW ended up got sued. But they got sued, I think. They booked a match against a kid against New Jack. That was the New York train incident in '96. I think they got sued. WCW, how the hell did they never got sued? I think they thought that was part of the show. It wasn't. The fan interfered. That was not part of the show. They beat the fuck out of it, and that was the end. That was the end. Clusterfuck. And the world title was not on the line, so what's the point in Piper getting the victory if he's not the world champion? Like, they had wasted opportunity to put the belt on Piper. They didn't. Stargate '96, the main event of that show, Piper defeat Hogan. The world title was not on the line. They did it at Uncensored. Hogan got his win back after the help of Macho Man Randy Savage. He ended up being part of the NWO. And then this match, Piper wins. No, he's not even the world champion. I don't get it. Why did Hogan get the victory over Piper to win the feud? Don't get it. I simply don't get it, man. I understand Piper don't really need the world title. I think it'd be nice to his feather cap. He's one of the best wrestlers never to win the world title. It'd be nice to win the world title to add to his feather cap, because he's never been a world champion in WWF in the 1980s and WCW in the 1990s. I think they missed an opportunity. I compare, and also the fake Stings. There is no real Sting on this show. I don't get it. Fake Stings, not the real Sting. If I compare a bit to John Cena and The Miz from WrestleMania in 2011, when The Rock bottomed John Cena and caused Cena the match against The Miz at that year's WrestleMania, that was just live action promotion of the following year's WrestleMania in 2012. I'm guessing this match is just setting up and live promoting that year's Starrcade between Hogan and Sting. So why can't I have Piper wins the world title, give him I'm not saying dropping the belt on Nitro the following evening, that'd be stupid, but give him like a month reign. He dropped it at World War III. Then you can do the Hogan and Sting match down the road, and then it'd be good. But it's just what it is. It's just a clusterfuck main event. They're trying to capitalize what the WWF doing. 3 weeks earlier at Bad Blood. If you compare the main event of this show, Halloween Havoc, to the Bad Blood main event, the steel cage match, Age in the Cage, to the first Hell in a Cell match, people will go take my money on the Hell in a Cell match was a better match than this, because at least with the first Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, you got one of the best match stipulations in pro wrestling history, and also the debut of Kane. This, which is a clusterfuck, to make fake Stings, Hogan and Sting being dicks, being the fuck out a Stinger fan. I'm trying to say, I'm stumbling, but and Piper never got the payoff and never put on the world title, and it was just like it's just a pointless end to end the feud between Roddy Piper and Hogan. Yeah, they're fighting again in 1990. They fight again in 2003 in the WWE in the Ruthless Aggression era. But besides that, they never feud. I don't think they feud ever again. Yeah, they fought a little bit in '98, but but that's another story for another time. But I think the intensity was over at this moment of time. So anyway, so my final rating for Halloween Havoc 1997, I give it a 7 out of 10. This was good. The match of the night for me has to be Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero for the Cruiserweight title. Yeah, title versus mask. That was match of the night. The second best match of the night is, DDP, Randy Savage in the Las Vegas Sudden Death match. Yeah, Hogan, it's just what it is, The opener, Yuji Nagata versus Ultimo Dragon was decent. Jericho versus Guido. Yeah, the botch was. It didn't really hurt this match, but it's still a decent match. You had 3 to 4 good matches. The only thing in the okay has to be, Ric Flair versus Kurt Hennig. Yeah, it was a decent match. Wasn't bad, but at the same time wasn't great. But the bad is the bad. The main event was shit. Um, you know, Alex Wright versus Steve McMichael. That was crap because the reason why they did that match because Jeff Jarrett left the company. Jacqueline versus Disco Inferno. That was crap. Luger versus Scott Hall. It's just nothing special. It's just furthering the rivalry between Scott Hall and Larry Zbyszko. Yeah. And also no real Sting. Yeah, Sting did not show up. That was just a disappointing. But besides that, I think this was a bit of a mixed bag, decent show of a pay-per-view. So, yeah, I advise watch Halloween Havoc for these matches like Ray versus Eddie, the opener, Yuji Nagata versus Ultimo Dragon, Jericho versus Guido, and the last man standing match between Randy Savage versus DDP. Some of these matches I'd rather skip. So, anyway, hope you enjoy your Halloween evening. Hope you enjoyed my review of WCW's Halloween Havoc 1997. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time we're in November. I don't know. This is a doozy, folks. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, I might review a future classic WCW pay-per-view in the future. I'll let you know in November. So this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later.